first Let's Just Talk Sports call.
All
So
right.
I appreciate you, man, for hopping on here and being so willing because you were patient. I know we've been trying to do this for like five years now.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Thanks for reaching out.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And all the way from YouTube, man, that really, touches me knowing that my content, is reaching people all the way from different platforms. So I appreciate you. And I guess we can just start off too, man, with just a little bit of background about yourself. Like where you from? Where were you born? Where were you raised? And I guess like leading on into your passion or at least a sport at the time of which you played, which was soccer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, tell us about it.
So, yeah, I grew up in California, moved to Washington,
Nice. Okay.
and I'm pursuing a degree in biology.
Wow. Okay. So really
So,
far from soccer. Okay.
yeah, quite far from that. Yeah. Soccer's a hobby though.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. How old are you, Nate?
I'm 19.
19, bro. Well, you still have time to actually go pro if you wanted to do, soccer. You are young, bro.
Well, I'm kind of nowhere near that level of good.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So like you said, it's just a hobby, something you do on your off time.
yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's awesome, man. Well, I guess first and foremost, what made you want to pursue biology?
Well, I've always had a love of nature, so
Mm,
I just uh I don't know.
yeah.
Just that feeling when I'm out in nature
Mhm.
and I don't want to see it all burn up.
Yes. Yes,
So,
man. Yeah, I know those forest fires or those wildfires are getting on your nerve, man. That's a lot of
oh
them,
yeah.
bro. What do you think is going on with that? Just like side note.
Well, humans have a lot of
Mm,
problem with that. A lot of them are setting fires or not putting out their fires, their campfires. That
mm,
does a lot. But also with global warming and the
yep.
heat, the
Yep.
temperatures rising, the
Mhm.
sun being more intense, it probably sparks a lot more. Uh, Probably sparks a lot more fires.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I remember there was a one case one time that I heard about where it was a kid, I think, that was popping fireworks in the forest or somewhere like that. And like it literally started, I think, one of the major or the one of the biggest wildfires in history. You know,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
and another one was actually a baby shower. I think they were like popping fireworks or something like
I
that.
heard about that one too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, can you imagine being the baby who like one day,
yeah.
finds out it's like,
And
what the heck?
and then in South America, the issue is farmers clearing land for their cattle
Yep,
and
yep.
then logging. And they start the fires. So
Wow. Wow. What, burning the vegetation before the crops?
yeah, that's
Wow.
Amazon has decreased by 17%.
What?
The Amazon rainforest.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That's crazy. And the Amazon is like that's a crucial forest.
it is. It is. It is
Yeah.
very crucial. And if it decreases by, let's see, how much more? 8% more,
Yeah.
we don't know what the damage will be, but it'll be irreversible.
Irreversible. Yeah. Because once a species is extinct, it's pretty much impossible to bring it back, right? Because you can't
Yeah,
recreate. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That is actually, man, to be honest with you, that's a whole nother topic. Like,
that is.
yeah, like seriously, I actually would like to bring you back on for that because that's actually something I've been meaning to ask my community in general,
Mm.
about all the things that's going on in Maui and things like that. Just
Oh yeah.
all the stuff we're seeing, man. It's happening too often. I think in Canada they're still having wildfires there, so it's pretty scary if you ask me.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
is.
but again, man, I love to see that you're out there reaching and trying to do something for a good cause. Again, I'm 28 and I went to school as well. Uh Majored in something I guess similar in terms of sciences, but computer science. So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's but again, it was something I definitely didn't necessarily like. I just kind of majored in it for, the pressure. Yeah, it was pressure
Yeah.
of the family, and just kind of
Oh yeah, yeah.
I get this, and I didn't really care for it, but and now I'm doing this. This is something I'm
Well,
doing now.
yep.
So just having that level of love, and you would say you love biology. That's a passion that you have.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Then you've already won. You've already won. Seriously. Yeah, you've already won. Like once that's the level in which you have, which is passion and a desire for what it is you do, you've won, bro. You've won.
Yeah, that's true.
You've
That's
won. I
true.
love it. I love it. So, okay, going into, you majoring and things of that nature. How I guess going back a little bit though, how did soccer come about? You said um you were born in would you say Cali?
Yeah.
Okay, you were born in Cali. You moved to Washington.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're still there now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. Mhm.
my dad is Colombian. So
Nice.
soccer's basically religion there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Yep.
I grew up with that and I just loved the game. So
Wow, that's was your dad ever like a professional or did he ever try to go pro?
nah.
Okay.
Apparently he had a chance to get into college, but college
Mhm.
soccer down there, but he didn't take it.
Wow, okay. Okay. When did he come over to the States?
I don't know the exact year. It was a
Okay.
while ago though. In his
Okay.
like 20s or 30s, I think.
Okay. Nice, nice. So you being born from the States, you pretty much played it all your entire life in Cali or
Yeah,
okay. Okay. Because in Cali, I know
yeah.
skateboarding is kind of like the thing, right? Skateboarding is huge in Cali.
Uh, it's that's mainly on the beaches.
Oh,
Outside
okay.
of the beaches, I haven't seen I've barely seen any skateboarders outside of the beaches.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So what was your position? Were you goalie? Were you
I was midfield,
midfield?
attacking or defense defensive midfield.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So why do you say you're not that good, bro?
Well, it's not that I'm not that good. It's just the fact that
Mhm.
professional players are on another level.
Yeah, that
They're
is true.
they're on an absolute other level. They've been training since they were 4 or 5 hours a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
True.
there's
True.
they're really really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I love it. Did you ever play on an actual professional team for like your high school, or were you just like kind of
I
like
was no, I was on my high school team, but I wasn't professional.
okay, okay? So after high school, you just kind of dropped it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Do you still play it now?
Yeah, I play with some of my friends. We
Nice.
go to a park, set some stuff up, have
That's
some
dope.
games.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So then, following that into again, of course. Now this actually makes it even that much more interesting because I actually thought you were like born in Colombia or something like that. Then you moved.
Oh,
But to know that you were born here and you were raised here and you grew up here and things like that, bro. Again, that brings us back to the topic we were talking about in the comments, which is American football.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like obviously people go crazy over American football. It's religion here,
Yep.
and and like again, soccer, to be honest with you, in America is actually looked at as like the least favorable sport, at least
It in America, yeah,
in
you're
America.
right.
In America, exactly, exactly. And so I guess that's like even starting there, bro. Like, why do you think soccer has invaded, religiously, even right? Because in other countries,
Yeah.
it's practiced religiously, like you said. Cricket, I think cricket isn't it like a form. I mean, it may
No,
be similar. Mhm.
cricket's a whole nother thing. That's more similar to baseball, I think.
Baseball,
Some
very.
blend of baseball and golf or something.
Okay, okay, okay. So cricket isn't even using your feet.
No, I don't think
Wow.
so.
Wow. Okay. 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 Well, I definitely got that wrong. Okay. Okay. So then looking at all the other countries, right, except for America,
Yeah,
I would definitely say at least, even in Europe, um, the UK and all these other places, like you said, well on down into the South America, maybe even Central America, uh,
yeah.
and even in the islands, there's probably certain forms of soccer as well. But why do you think soccer has penetrated every other area except for America?
Well, so I did some research because I was kind of intrigued by that. So I
Mm-hmm.
wrote up a whole Google Doc.
Let's go. Let's go.
So
Come on.
so um so first of all, soccer is super easy to play
Yeah.
and anyone can do it. Like you can have grandpas do it, you can have 5-year-old kids doing it.
Mm-hmm.
The rules are simple. Don't make the ball go outside of the
Yeah.
court or the
Mm-hmm.
field,
Mm-hmm.
and then don't touch it with your hands.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
don't kill other people. Don't
Yeah.
foul them. That's it. Those are the only
Mm-hmm.
rules.
Yeah.
And then there's a much less injury of risk of injury.
Mm-hmm.
So it's American football. You 90% of players have neck problems
Come on. Yeah.
after when they retire and stuff.
Yep.
And of course, some soccer players do get issues with their body, but
Mm-hmm.
most of them are still pretty healthy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then soccer is also um, a lot cheaper than any
Wow.
other because all you need is a ball
The
and
ball.
then
Yep.
four things, four, they could be rocks to place
Yep.
as goals.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanted to play football, you need to have the posts, or you
Mm-hmm.
need to have the football, you need to have the helmets so you don't hurt yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and pads and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, America being a first world country, we have the money to get that and to
Mm-hmm.
play that and to afford the costs, but a lot of other countries don't have that. So I think that might contribute to it as well.
Whoa. Whoa. That's a big point. That is actually a very big point. Um, that's actually something I never even thought about when it came to like cost. But you're right, the equipment, I think even CTE, right? When it comes to football, CTE, the brain injury that kind
Oh
of
yeah,
happens. Yeah, and football players
yeah,
over time, the brain starts to think swell or something like that, and over time it leads to all different type of behavior changes and things of that nature. Whereas soccer, like you said, I don't think I've ever really like experienced a YouTube video where there's like a super bad injury in soccer.
well, I can give you one example.
Mm-hmm.
Colombia, Brazil. I don't remember what year it was. Maybe I think 2014. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Neymar Jr., Brazil's star player, went up for a
Mm-hmm.
header against a Colombian player, and
Mm-hmm.
the Colombian player broke his spine.
Oh my goodness! Whoa!
Or I don't know if it was a clean break or just a crack, but
Oh,
definitely something happened there.
was this
Um,
what?
you go ahead.
But I guess I was kind of curious as to like what happened. So was it like a collision or was it more so like he kicked him and it actually like he hit him that way?
Oh, so they went up. Oh, it's a back fracture. My bad.
Oh,
So they both
okay,
went up for to head the ball. They both
okay,
jumped up,
okay.
and I'm not sure how they connected, but
Mm-hmm.
somehow they connected hard, and yeah, he had a broken bone in his back.
My goodness. Well,
But he came back to the sport, and he's still playing it now professionally.
see, there we go. Yep.
Yeah,
And essentially when you're playing football and there's injuries, it's probably like next to none in terms of returning.
yeah,
Once there's something like major or traumatic.
yeah.
Um, and that's a good point. Again, going back to like you said, the equipment you need, the padding, things of that nature. Whereas I think in soccer, do they? I mean, I guess maybe they may have like cups for the private area, but maybe that's probably about it, right?
They don't even have that.
Oh my goodness, they don't have cups.
No, um they
Oh,
have cleats and they have shin guards. And that's a bit and that's it. Their uniforms. That's it.
wow, 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 wow. Yeah, I guess. Hey, again, I would say it's definitely a level of bravery when you're playing soccer, but at the same time, like you said, I guess if it's just a ball and you're using your legs, you can't, use any other parts of your body. Maybe it's just a level of control that guarantees that level of safety.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The professional players have an amazing level of control with their
Yeah.
feet and legs with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and yeah, it's a lot safer
Yeah. Yeah.
than crashing through people trying to get the
Exactly.
ball to the end zone.
Exactly. Exactly. No, you're exactly right. And even thinking about that, bro, like going back to football itself, American football,
Yeah.
like why do you think it hasn't penetrated other countries? Why has soccer, again, it's it's the World Cup. It's the it's a nationwide um sport event. Whereas like we stated before, football is literally probably only popular in America. I think it's actually compared to all sports in general, I think it's like the least popular sport in the world.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it has on average, it has for an average viewership game in
Mm-hmm.
the US
Mm-hmm.
is 16.7 million, but
Mm-hmm.
the final has about 100 million people watching. And in Mexico, it's 23.3 million people watching the final. So
Mm-hmm.
Mexico actually trips in a lot of people.
Wow.
And Brazil has 19.7 million watching the final. So
Wow.
there are fans in other countries, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just not as much as soccer. And so soccer also is professional soccer has
Mm-hmm.
been around in England since the 1800s.
Wow.
But
Okay.
there's
Okay.
research that the game was created 2000 years ago by Aztecs,
What?
and another version of the game was played in China as far back as the 3rd century BC.
Whoa.
So just the fact that soccer's been around thousands of years longer than
Mm-hmm.
football
Mm-hmm.
automatically puts it in a much more
Mm-hmm.
prestigious place.
Yeah.
And again, the cost. So most countries are third world countries,
Yeah.
third or second world countries.
Mm-hmm.
So they they play soccer. But
Yeah.
here's the thing I found interesting. So do you know the sport rugby?
Absolutely. Yep.
That has a lot more viewers than football.
Are you serious?
400 million average viewers around the world.
What?
So rugby, I think, is the rest of the first world countries' football because it's quite similar
Mm.
to football. In fact,
Yeah.
football came out of soccer and rugby. So it was
What?
kind of a blend of those two games
Oh.
and kind of was born from that.
Mm. It's crazy. And that's the thing too. Again, you never really hear about rugby isn't pressed like that. Now over the years, it's
No,
definitely
yeah.
it's gained credibility over the years a lot more, but it's still not nowhere near as pressed as a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like but like you said, it still has 400 million.
Average viewers. Yeah. And so some of the differences between football is so you have positions in football, right? Like the
Yeah.
running back, the quarterback. But in rugby, you don't have as many assigned positions. It's basically everybody doing everything
Mm-hmm.
they can to
Mm-hmm.
get the ball across the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Equal playing field for pretty much every player.
Yep.
And you know what? That actually makes me kind of wonder. Maybe that's why it doesn't get as much credibility because it's such a joint team effort. You don't have your Tom Brady's or you don't have your, you know,
Yeah.
you don't have your star, Ezekiel. You don't have all those star players that could kind of, in a sense, I guess, say they're better at something because everyone's working and doing the same thing.
Yeah. I agree.
Maybe, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's one of the reasons as well. And again, I'll just speak for myself, but I feel like America a lot of times, as and especially as Americans, playing a particular sport, it can oftentimes be an I,
Yeah.
yeah, an I mentality instead of a we.
Yeah.
The Michael Jordans or the Steph Currys or again the LeBrons, just the highlights of people who kind of dominate the NBA, and then the other team players, you barely know their names.
Yeah, for sure. And that's not even just in America. A lot of soccer players,
Mm,
not a fair amount of famous soccer players
mm-hmm,
hog the ball quite a bit.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And that's the really nice thing about Messi. He will
mm.
set you up for a goal if you have a better shot than him.
Yeah,
And he's him and Ronaldo are it's kind of people fight between them,
yeah,
but
yeah,
they're the two best players on the earth right now.
yep, mm-hmm,
So to have one of the best players
mm-hmm,
be so selfless and such a
yeah,
good team player
yep,
has definitely, I think, gotten a lot more people
On
interested
board.
in
Yeah.
soccer
Hmm.
just from the name Messi
Yeah, I
or
agree.
Ronaldo.
Yep. When you name both of those, I knew them. Yep. Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you played soccer, what was your personal experience? Did you experience a lot of ball hogging from other players, or was it very team centric?
Depended on the team. There were
Mhm.
some ball hogs, there were some team players.
Yeah.
Just depends where you're playing, who you're playing with. It can change in an instant.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel like there could be a point in which football becomes the same level of soccer at any point? Is there any way it could catch up, or do you feel like that would never
Oof,
be? Yeah, I'm
I don't
curious.
know. Um, yeah, I'd have to say I don't think so. Just from the fact
Mhm.
that the third world countries again can't afford
Yeah.
a bunch of teams like that. And also, since if it hasn't spread in these past few years,
Mm-hmm.
when it's been the biggest it's ever been. I mean, maybe it could gain popularity and
Mm-hmm.
move up, but
Mm-hmm.
3 billion people watch the World Cup.
My goodness, are you serious?
Yes. That's almost that's like what is that? That's more than a third of the world's
Of the world?
population.
Yeah, yeah.
And 100 million is less than a third of the US population, of the United States of America population.
Wow.
So I don't think it could ever catch up to soccer's level.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. One of my favorite shows that I was actually watching recently is Ted Lasso.
Uh
Yeah, and I that really kind of got me into soccer, and like just understanding the culture behind it. You know, the
yeah,
the show isn't really like, big in terms of like the pressure of the actual game itself, but it's very, humor based and things of that nature. But
yeah.
at the
I
same time,
need to watch it.
yeah, Ted Lasso is it's an amazing show, man. And just the culture that you see behind soccer and the teammates and the level of um popularity that's in Europe when it comes to soccer. But then also you have a team, in Ted Lasso, the team wasn't necessarily, I think, within the major league of soccer, but they were like more of a club.
Oh yeah.
You have soccer clubs now, and they're just as popular. Like they're huge too. It's like
Yeah.
goodness, these
You
teams. Mm-hmm.
yeah, you brought up a really good point that
Mm-hmm.
kind of jogged my memory.
Yeah.
Soccer is a ticket. Soccer is a ticket out of poverty.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a really good player, you work up your skills. If you live in a
Mm-hmm.
brick house, mud brick house somewhere in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
and this small town, and there's no hope for you to
Mm-hmm.
get education, if you
Mm-hmm.
play soccer good enough,
Yep.
you go off to the major leagues,
Mm-hmm.
you make a bunch of money
Mm-hmm.
and you get out of poverty.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. A sports giving third world countries a chance.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That's amazing. And then, like you said, to go as far back to the Aztecs or the Chinese, and they had their form of soccer that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
That's
But when
crazy.
you think about it, it's quite a simple game. It's
Yeah.
kicking a ball
Hmm.
between two posts,
Yeah.
you know?
Hmm.
So it does kind of make sense that it's been around that long.
That is true. That is so true. Yeah, that's true. That is so true. When it comes to football and soccer, like when you put them both, neck and neck, which would you say has I guess the most character building benefits, the most character building benefits in terms of, I guess, the level of work ethic you have to put into it, the physical dedication as well as the mental dedication. Which one would you say is more uh taxing in terms of the sport?
Well, since I haven't played either sport professionally, I'm not a really good source. But
Mm-hmm.
what I understand, they both are incredibly taxing
Yeah.
mentally and physically. They both have their own things that they need to work through.
Mm-hmm.
So football players need to work a lot more on their sprints.
Mm-hmm.
While soccer
Mm-hmm.
players work on their endurance a lot more.
Endurance. Mm-hmm.
They work on their footwork,
Mm-hmm.
soccer players with the ball, which is something you'll never see a football player doing.
Yeah.
They might work on throwing the ball and catching it.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
other than that, it's it's completely different. It's a
Yeah.
completely different work ethic.
Yeah. Yeah. And you too. Actually, this question popped up as you were also answering this as well. But you being you, well, again, you having parents that are from Colombia, and then again, you probably have relatives who also are probably from other aspects of South America. What is it about soccer that makes it so culturally um oriented? Like, there's people that are representing from different, like I've literally heard there being instances where there were like certain players that were actually killed. I forgot the one player that was killed. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, and then
Colombia. That was
yeah,
that was a Colombian player.
oh, that was Colombia when he shot the wrong goal, right?
He made the own goal.
Oh,
Yeah.
I heard about what makes it that what makes people so culturally, nationally dedicated to the sport. What do you feel like? Why is that?
Well, your average Colombian citizen would never do that. That is when the drug dealers
Mm,
place bets on
bets.
games.
Yep, yep.
And when those games are lost due to a single player, they
Hmm.
take everything out on that player.
Wow.
So like happened to that one player in I think it was in the World Cup. They were playing against
Mm,
us. They were playing against the United States.
yeah.
And he tried to clear the ball. He accidentally scored an own goal. Went back home and he was shot.
Did he die?
Yeah, he died.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
And just this past so the women's World Cup, the women's soccer World Cup,
Mm-hmm.
just finished, and the
Yeah.
Colombian team actually did quite well.
Mm,
But like a few days after they got kicked out, they
yeah.
lost to England.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look into it much, so I don't know if it was a hate thing or just he was in the wrong
Mm,
place at the wrong time.
yeah.
But the brother of one of the women on the Colombian team
Mm-hmm.
was shot and killed.
Wow.
I don't know if that's because they lost to England.
Yeah.
What because England won 2-1, and both goals were mistakes by the Colombian defense or
Mm,
the Colombian goalie. They could have definitely stopped them, but
wow.
I don't know if the woman was a defender, if
Yeah.
one of the goals was her fault,
Mm-hmm.
and they got mad and killed her brother. I don't
Oh
know, but
goodness.
I just know that her brother did die.
What?
Somebody killed him.
Wow. And you're saying that it was in relation to that.
I don't know. I don't
For
know
sure.
if
Okay.
he was just like walking down the street and he got in
Okay.
between a
Okay.
gunfight. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. 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 And that, again, I had to ask that question, man, because I feel like, above all, that kind of is what I've seen as of
Yeah.
late in terms of like if you compare football to soccer, there's definitely a hardcore dedication of like, USA or Brazil or like you said, Colombia, all these other teams that, have their specific teams, specific nations they're representing, countries they're representing. And then again for football, it's states, obviously. And to be honest
Yeah.
with you, you actually do kind of see that in football as well. I
You
don't know if
do.
you do, you do,
You do. Yeah.
you do. I won't even like say that it's not there. You definitely see it, and I think it's definitely something that's there. Um, but again, like you said, I guess when it comes to soccer, instead of representing a state, as here in the United States, it's the entire country that the team is representing.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you feel like that's a lot more pressure on soccer players, professional
Oh,
players?
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
if football emerged across the world
Mm-hmm.
and we made national teams,
Mm-hmm.
there would be a lot more
Mm-hmm.
pressure on the players in the national team than just playing for a domestic team
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
they're representing their whole country, not
Mm-hmm.
just their state, not just where they're from, but their whole country.
Whole country.
And they know that if they fail their country, it's not like another team from their country is going to win.
Exactly.
Somebody else is going to take that, and they will either be looked down on
Mm-hmm.
by some of their countrymen,
Yeah.
but it or just nobody will care. But
Yeah.
inside, they'll feel responsible.
Exactly. Exactly. And like you said, in a sense, they're taking it to their grave because it's almost like you're going to fight a war.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's
Yeah. Well, yeah.
that crazy, but
Yeah.
you're definitely going and putting stuff on the line.
On the line. Exactly. Exactly. Man, that is I to be honest with you, I didn't even think about this until we just started talking about it. Like they're literally carrying a country on their back.
Yeah.
That
And a lot of the times,
mm-hmm.
if their country is looked down on, like Colombia has been
Mm.
looked down on for
Yep.
20, 30, 40 years.